Okay. Hello everyone, this is Douster, and welcome to another stream. And today I'm finally gonna do the last episode of Mr. McMahon, the documentary. I also want to put a trigger warning for all you people that are very sensitive to topics regarding SA, R word. If you don't like that stuff or that's very sensitive, it's probably not a good idea to watch the stream. Oh, and this documentary. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So just a quick recap about episode 5. The last thing, I was thinking about episode 5 this morning when I got up going to work. And I kind of feel bad for Shane McMahon. I feel like Shane, in my opinion, he didn't get a lot of love or fatherly love from his dad like he did. I mean, probably that one time in WrestleMania, but that was it. And, I was thinking about it all day at work that I think that Vince McMahon, in my opinion, the way he was raised as a kid, I think ultimately, from what I see in Shane McMahon and his sons, I think that Shane ended the cycle of abuse, which I'll explain at the end because I think there's more to the story with this episode. Unfortunately, as of today, Stephanie and Shane are no longer in contact with Vince McMahon, their father. Linda and him, they have an open relationship. I don't know why or why she thinks it's a good idea. I'm not a fan of Linda McMahon either for a lot of personal reasons and who she's supporting. But I did hear some news that people say that Linda's not a good woman, which I kind of had to agree on that. Well, mostly because of what she's supporting, but and also the fact that she's in an open relationship with Vince, which is kind of gross in my opinion. I mean, she should just divorce him at this point. If I were her, I would divorce him. I mean, to me, that's. I mean, as a woman, if I had a husband who did the things that Vince did, I would have immediately divorced him. Like the first time cheating, never a good thing. It's never okay to cheat. And I feel like people nowadays just kind of, in a way, I personally think that cheating on someone is never a good idea. Especially the first time. It's like, no, I'm done. Sorry. I know you're gonna. I've seen the soap opera. A lot of the characters in that soap opera cheat on each other all the time. And it's like, oh, God. But anyway, but that's unfortunately her choice, not mine. So let's get to the last episode. Okay, so I'm not a psychologist or anything, but when you have a bunch of voices speaking in your head or something like that, that's usually not a good thing. I mean, I could understand if it was two voices, but if it's like a variety of them, like, I don't know, I would just seek therapy about that.
And then there's a third one sometimes. If I wanted to tap into it, I could.
Well, I don't think they mentioned this in the documentary, but I think Vince McMahon has... Oh, dyslexia, uh-huh. Yeah, because in the Playboy interview that he did in 2001, I think they said that... Or Wikipedia, I'm not sure if it was Wikipedia or the Playboy interview. They said that he has dyslexia, so it could be one of the reasons why he's hearing all these voices. I don't know if you guys knew that about Vince McMahon. Because as of now, I'm currently working on a Vince McMahon project. And I just released a video titled The Childhood of Vince McMahon, something like that. And the reason why I put it, I want to do parts is to try to examine Vince and try to understand why he did the things he did. But I don't know. It's just I used to be a psych major in college, so I'm not licensed. In case you guys are wondering.
Something having a lot of fun, and it's involving sex.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, when you have that one side that's thinking about sex, that's usually not a good thing. In my opinion. God, this is gonna be a doozy. In January 2024, Vince McMahon resigned from WWE after allegations involving sexual misconduct, assault, and trafficking. The majority of the following interviews, including with Vince McMahon, were filmed before the allegations were made public.
Each
Umaga.
have a wrestler
Rest in peace, Umaga.
represents
Seem to care. Give us the next guy.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to come on here. The fact that that one guy, what's that guy's name? Oh, what the heck?
Wife and is dead. The fans knew these guys would die. They didn't care.
Phil Mushnick. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. That is complete BS. Come on, I do care about the wrestlers that died. I mean, why else do you think a lot of people to this day still mourn and remember Eddie Guerrero? He is even talked about on SmackDown, especially in anniversaries. Like, that's bull crap. I'm sorry, but it is. Oh, I'm sorry about the background noise. It's just sometimes there are like kids playing outside. Come on, you know that's not true. A lot of WWE fans, myself included, we love our wrestlers, and when we see a wrestler die, that's tragic. I mean, Bray Wyatt, that was a huge deal back then. I even made a video about him. Who else passed away recently? And all those other wrestlers too. I mean, even the wrestlers that they showed, British Bulldog, Mr. Perfect, Test, Eddie Guerrero. And yeah, what happened to Chris Benoit was bad. It was really bad, but you know, I mean, we still love these people, and I mean, Daphne.
But they didn't seem to care. Give us the next.
We do care. What makes you think that we don't care? I mean, yeah, there's always gonna be an up and coming superstar, but we're always gonna love our wrestlers. Like, that's just bull crap. I'm sorry, but that's bull crap. I disagree with that. So the Chris Benoit thing, I remember when that happened. That was a really dark time. I was wondering why he would do something like that. What he did to his wife and his kid was not okay. But I do think CTE is real, in my opinion. I mean, I think it's just a lot of people, like, mostly a lot of older people, they don't think that mental health is real, and that they think it's just in your head and you could just wish it away. But in reality, our brains are sort of like our skin as well. You know, you injure it, you bleed it, you cut it, you have to take care of it. I don't know, sometimes I just feel like people just don't, they just think that what goes on in our brains is pretty much nothing, but in reality is something. I mean, it's like, it's a part of our body, and of course everything in our body that gets torn apart or ripped off or cut open, our brains are like that too. I mean, our brains are part of us, but just people, mostly a lot of people from the old days, like to assume that mental health is not real. It is real. I mean, I have mental health issues too. Anyway, back to the episode. What happened to Chris Benoit? Why else would he want to kill his wife and his son? Obviously, the guy had a lot of issues. His best friend died, and the chair shots to the head. I think maybe that just made it worse. And also, why do you think that there's a lot of elderly people that have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease act a little different, like not normal? Because their brains are, it's, I don't know, I think it's common sense that our brains can also get hurt as well.
Ask.
Oh god, it's pretty obvious Vince never learned his manners.
Were there untimely deaths? None whatsoever.
Leave. Oh, can you see that look? I mean, oh, how can you possibly say?
Okay, look, I understand that sometimes people, reporters, tabloids, etc., they say certain things that will make you really mad. But come on, man. Vince should know better than to not do that. Like, that's unprofessional. He could have at least walked out and be like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. I'm done. Bye. Instead, he just immediately just. It almost looks as though he was gonna attack that guy. Like, was that really necessary? Obviously, Vince never learned his manners.
Guys.
Yeah. Wait, now he's saying that we worship them? Didn't he just say that we didn't care about them a minute ago? Also, I forgot to mention, but I recently saw a video of Daphne. And Daphne, she did a lot of crazy things, especially when she was in TNA. And unfortunately, you know what happened to her. She went on Instagram Live and unfortunately took out her life. It's really sad. Your body gets injured. I mean, your back. Really, a part of our brains, they're also a part of us. And everywhere that's hurt, of course we have to treat it, even if it's our brains. But then people are like, "Oh, mental health's not real. It's all in your head." Then why do we consider having Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's? Is it just in our imagination? I don't know. It's just people. I swear, people just don't. This is why we have issues with mental health. You know, mental health. It gets buried in the rug, and we need to stop doing that. And obviously. And the concussions, the concussions as well. Concussions, the CTE, of course it exists. Why else would they have those weird spikes on their head? I mean, they didn't just drew that. That came from an x-ray. Okay, I don't want to be mean, but why is this important for this documentary?
It was a last-minute decision.
Traumatic how? I mean, the guy got hit in the head. Of course he's gonna feel kinda a little dizzy. Okay. Yeah, and you wonder why Vince is crazy. This is a good example. Ooh, I remember I had one of those cups. I wish I still had them. Oh, dang, my cell phone. I wish I still had them. They were so cool. And they give out the little straws too, remember? I don't know if you guys remember. I wish they would still do that. I don't know why they stopped. Oh man. Yeah, but the problem is a lot of people didn't like the PG era. I honestly stopped watching around this time when they went PG. When they had the first season of NXT. That's when I kind of really just started losing interest in WWE for a while. I don't think it really toned down. I mean, to this day, there are people in the comments and YouTube that talk about the PG era probably being one of the worst. To this day.
Hands took this.
Oh god, they're gonna talk about the women's revolution. I mean, it's a big deal, but they just love to talk about it so much. I swear to God. They're always, especially Stephanie. They're like, we're making history. I'm like, where? Where's it going? The textbooks? Cause I don't see it. But I am glad that women got more chances. It's just WWE just love to rub it in that they put over the women's revolution. But around the time TNA was kind of doing it first, in my opinion.
Giving the fans what they want.
Well, Vince really didn't care about the women's division, to be honest. I think everyone could agree with that.
When you return to.
I feel so bad for Shane. I think out of all the McMahons, I like Shane the most, while the other three are kind of dysfunctional. To be honest, I think they're gonna talk about in the documentary in a couple minutes, but you'll find out. I used to like Stephanie, but I kind of lost a lot of respect for her when I found out what she did allegedly to Ashley, and just dang man, and China as well. I mean. They didn't even talk about China or how it affected her or something. I mean, they're all talking about, like, Undertaker's streak. I'm like, what does that have to do with Vince? I mean, I know Undertaker's a Vince man, but I don't know. It's weird. Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin not believing in CTE. That's kind of weird. I mean, What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Stone Cold is right, or are you guys like, well, Stone Cold probably had a lot of concussions. He probably doesn't have a brain left. Or maybe you're probably thinking, well, he's old, so he probably is outdated or something. I still love Stone Cold though. I still love the guy, but come on, man. You have CT. You probably have CTE.
And you love.
Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but he did used to abuse Deborah back then. People seem to forget that at times. But I mean, yeah, that's a tough one. I'll admit, maybe yeah. I mean, I like the Stone Cold character, but what he did to Deborah was not okay. It's kind of sad because Shane never really got to own the company. It was mostly Triple H and Stephanie. Well, at the end it's Triple H now because Stephanie, she can't. Maybe she could, but it's just because she's related to Vince. And then all this stuff came out. She's not a part of it anymore. For now, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Night Raw.
I miss Shane. I wish he could come back. He was really entertaining. I know he did the whole best of the world thing, which I thought was kind of odd. But I really like Shane. I thought he did a good job. I just wish he would have received the same praise as Vince. And not just a one-time thing, but a more so often, like, oh, I'm proud of you, son. You're awesome.
About to
I bet Vince was like, why couldn't I have this with my father?
throw her down. Do
That is so true. Because I was thinking about that today at work. Like, Vince doesn't really appreciate his son. And I don't know if it's because of the lack of love he received from his dad. I know that Vince was abandoned by his dad, and then he came back. And then towards the end of his life, his dad finally told him, I love you, son. I'm proud of you. It's kind of like really not that worth it. Like just saying that at the last minute, like you could have said that more often. His dad was a rich guy. He could have at least provided something for Vince or would have given him better education or something as a child, but then his stepfather just destroyed little Vince. Really sad. And not just that, the fact that Vince kind of continued the cycle of abuse, but I think ultimately Shane ended that cycle of abuse. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, Vince, the way he is and how he portrayed himself for years in front of people, and not just like storyline wise, but personally wise, like what happened to Rita Chatterton, the Ring Boy scandal, Owen Hart's death, Jimmy Snuka, and the Chris Benoit deaths and all that stuff. It's like he doesn't seem to have a heart or something. And when it comes to like wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and stuff, whatever is best for business, it just, to me, it just doesn't seem genuine. And people still think it's fake. That thing was hard. And you never acknowledged him about it? Come on, Vince.
What he's done, what he attempts to do.
Well, finally he said something good about his son. Oh,
Had to earn
that's
that
so
one.
sad. I wish Vince would have at least been more appreciative to his kids. Instead of, like, just being like, well, it's for business, that's it. It's just really sad. I understand why he wasn't like that because of his abusive childhood, but come on, like, I don't know. I just feel really bad. I think Vince should have been more appreciative and probably give back what he wanted as a child, because I think maybe that would have given him maybe some closure, something, because like I understand what he went through was hard as a kid, but if you wanted to get that out of your head for good, it's always a good idea to talk about it, or at least get some professional help, or at least treat your children way better the way you wanted to be treated as a kid.
Guess I did.
In a better way, not abusive way though. but would he do it the same?
Revolutionary in its way.
I kind of miss WWE Network though. It had everything, but I think even if it were to come back, it probably wouldn't have all the controversial stuff like when DX put blackface and then the Katie Vick thing and Chris Benoit and all that other stuff. There were a lot of controversial things when a lot of this stuff was in WWE Network, I remember.
When you retire.
Well, I don't know. Go on an island, enjoy your life before you die. Spend time with the family before, you die.
Imagine.
I mean, he tried. It was kind of weak, though. I'm sorry. Wait, whoa, let me go back. I didn't catch that.
What I think it would take for Vince
Wait,
to
is that
retire,
Sasha?
a nuclear bomb exploded.
And that is Janelle Grant.
The wrestling world rocked by the headline hitting today.
No hate for her, by the way. I mean, she kind of really opened the gates for a lot of people to finally stand up for themselves. But I'll let the documentary speak for itself. After the allegations became public, Vince McMahon canceled his final interviews for this series. Dang.
The reporting built on itself after
so
that
he
first
used that
story.
as a storyline? What the hell? I'm sorry, but come on, that's... Oh my god, he uses anything as a storyline.
The more sort of
I wonder who that woman is. Because a lot of people... I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos regarding this. And from what I gathered, some people said that it might have been Christy Hemme. Well, allegedly. I'm not saying it's her, like, indirect. Like, it's actually her. But allegedly it could be Christy Hemme, because... When was the last time we saw Christy Hemme? Hardly ever. Maybe it was Sable? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know she never came back to WWE. And they never mentioned her ever again. I don't know, man. Like, I think it might have been Christy Hemme, but that's my opinion. It might have been someone else. But that's something that I've always wondered, because of all the women that we've seen in WWE throughout the years, Christy Hemme was nowhere, not a single appearance after all these years. Anything for ratings or some kind of storyline, huh?
Earlier tonight,
I'm not gonna lie, I felt really bad for Stephanie at this moment. This moment was really cringe. And really awkward.
father.
Or it might have been Ashley, the one that didn't get her contract renewed. I don't know.
Without Vince, I don't think it will.
Damn, he was wrong. I hate to be that person, but I think Vince should have retired. Because during the last years in his WWE as CEO, I don't think that made sense, but a lot of people, and I know I keep saying that a lot of people on the comments, everywhere on social media, they're like, oh, WWE is so bad. It's gotten worse. It's so bad. Vince needs to retire. And, I mean, there's no shame in wanting to retire, to be honest with you. Sometimes you could do as much as you can, but I've worked with the elderly before, and it's pretty sad. Like, a lot of them don't function like they used to, and it's normal. I think it's normal, but it's sad, but it's just how it is, and there's no shame to it. But I personally think Vince should have retired earlier. I think the problem is, I think he just wanted to keep working until he died, which I understand. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I understand, but which, what do I say? I think he should have, like, taken a break. I think maybe during the last years, he probably had something going on in his brain that we might end up finding out later on because of the court Well, if he goes to court, that is. But Vince should have retired earlier instead. I think him dragging this on for so long kind of ruined the ratings for WWE for so long. Think about it. A lot of WWE superstars went to AEW because it was brand new. Kind of like what WCW did. The only difference is Vince's storylines just got really worse over the years. I mean, for example, the storyline about the Bailey Alexa Bliss thing, that was bad, and then I'm trying to think what else I could think of. And then Roman Reigns, like, until he got the tribal chief thing, a lot of people started appreciating him more. And then Goldberg, and just, oh man, yeah, he should have just retired. Well, he had the chance, and plus, a lot of people said that supposedly, whenever the day when it was when they're either Raw or SmackDown, when the writers gave him a script, Vince immediately denied it. He's like, "Oh, rewrite this again." He was very stressed and just, and I don't know. I've heard a lot of things that supposedly the writers get really stressed out, and it's never-ending work for them when Vince was in charge. But I don't know. I think he should have retired early. I don't think having to keep going was a good idea. I think he almost brought down the company because of that. And I think had he kept continuing, I think, who knows, maybe the storylines. Oh, and also remember that one time when Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H were in the ring and they were saying, from now on, you all have a say in what you're all in charge of our storylines and something like that. And then next thing you know, they just immediately just go back to, like, revert back to what they were doing. Yeah, definitely should have retired and just lived this life. Oh well.
And as
Well, I think this is when Stephanie kind of started realizing her father was just not gonna do any good anymore, so she started detaching herself from him. There was a comment I saw on YouTube a long time ago, and they said that, oh, when Stephanie is on stage, she basically meant by, my dad's gonna take down the company. Luckily that was not true, because then Triple H took over.
CEO of WWE. Many on Wall Street expect McMahon to try to sell the $6 billion company at some point.
Who's that?
What was your reaction when
Wait, isn't that the same shirt? Wait, let me see. Is he wearing the same shirt? Oh no, that's a different color shirt. It's a nice physique for his age. Although, a lot of people don't like Dave Meltzer. Shocking fact, no one wanted him to come back. That's why Sasha left. Well, I would assume. Yeah, a lot of people didn't want him to come back. And there's been a lot of reports that supposedly a lot of superstars, when Vince left, even CM Punk said so himself, the locker room was a lot more liberative than before. Like, it just felt more calm, a little bit more peaceful than before.
And
I mean, he had to in order to save face. For him.
He said that
you knew Bruce. Come on, man. You're Mr. McMahon's, you know what, right-hand man. You probably knew what happened.
And Dave Meltzer or Shoemaker or whoever else wants to make up their lies and their assumptions. They don't know.
Are you sure?
Billion-dollar global lives.
Wasn't this Shane's idea to buy UFC a couple years ago, and then Vince McMahon's like, nope.
No, it's a great day.
I wish he didn't have to dye his hair like that. Oh my god, he looked like a villain in this little thing. Why?
Things have to evolve. Be it family, business, it all has to evolve for all the right reasons. And this is the right business decision.
Oh, he had a really scary looking look.
Thus far.
To be honest, I wish they would have had Shane or Stephanie kept running it. Although Stephanie, I I'm not a fan of hers.
The company's doing.
I still think it would have been nice to have like the family kept going and being in charge of the company, but yeah, things change over time. Wow, look at that title.
You saw some episodes of this show?
Yeah,
Thoughts?
thought they sucked.
Aw, come
I
on,
didn't
man.
think it was bad.
Well, I do agree it wasn't that balanced. Because they kept on mentioning unnecessary things, and I'm like, why did we have to talk about this? And I felt like the WCW thing was just way too much. Especially, it almost feels like Eric Bischoff had a say in this documentary somehow. Come on, Bruce. You really have to be that mean to these people, even though they gave you a platform?
Balanced at all. I thought it was portrayed as a gotcha piece.
To be honest, in the beginning of episode 1 and this episode, the last episode, it kind of felt like everyone was praising Vince. I mean, you have Trish, John Cena, Stone Cold, The Rock. Who else was in there? Well, Cody, but I don't think Cody is much of a Vince McMahon person. I don't know. Triple H and Stephanie, they're all like praising. Oh, Undertaker, can't forget about the Undertaker. They're all praising Vince McMahon like, oh, Vince is awesome. He gave me a career. Without him, I wouldn't be nothing where I am today. But I agree with Bruce on this. This documentary was a little disorganized. They should have focused more on the Ring Boy scandal and what else? The Chris Benoit thing a little bit more, but that's why you have Dark Side of the Ring. Although the Ring Boy scandal is still not there in Dark Side of the Ring, in case you guys are wondering. But what about all the people that praised him? Trish, John, The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker. Oh God, why do I keep forgetting The Undertaker? What about all those people? They praised him. You did too. In this documentary, and they showed it a little bit more.
If he were one, I would support that. But
Oh, and the fact that he gave Shane a hug and he said he was proud of Shane. They showed it in this episode. People were not lying when they say that Bruce Pritchard is such a butt kisser. Oh God, I think he's controlling my stream. I can't seem to click things. Okay, something's up with my computer.
Right. A source tipped
Oh
me
God, I thought that was her. I was so scared. I'm like, is that Janelle? I thought she wasn't in this thing.
off about the lawsuit being was lured there.
Trigger warning, if you want to get out of this, now is the time because this is gonna get really gross.
Wrestlers?
Yeah, that's true. And these wrestlers are all praising Mick Foley, Rikishi, John Cena. I love you, John, though. Undertaker. They're all saying, Vince is great. But in reality, did you guys hear about the toys that were named after you used in order to do SEX? I mean, come on, guys. Now's your chance to apologize.
I'm the only one who owns.
Crazy. I remember. Honestly, I don't read court documents, but when I found out about this, I try my best to read as much as I can, and it was just ew. Again, this is a lawsuit, so it's still pending.
You, one of the messages read, and controls who I want to blank you.
You know, granted, we're only seeing her side of these text messages, or the text message.
Also, the grammar was so bad in this. Oh, God, Vince, you would think you would have good grammar at this age. He's also not allowed in the WWE headquarters anymore.
In 2016, Ashley Massaro claimed that Kuwait by a man.
When Ashley passed away in 2017, 2019, I remember reading the story and thinking, how in the world did WWE let this happen, and why did they not do anything about that? And ever since then, they just swept it under the rug like they never talked about it. They released a statement, but after that, it just was swept under the rug, and what happened to her was just so sad. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, John Laurinaitis, Vince's rat, He said that he knew about it.
Had been, they would have reported it.
Lies.
A decade later,
Yeah, I thought when I saw this promo, I thought it was very rude. Like, that was completely unnecessary.
Don't do this! No!
I mean, I think this is really who Vince McMahon is in this promo. Yeah, I usually cry like that whenever something bad happens to me. That felt real. Honestly, like, that felt real to me. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I said, that, a lot of people have said ever since Vince left, the locker room seemed a little bit more calmer than before. But when Vince was there, it was really pressuring. That's what I heard.
Records for Gates.
Oh yeah, that was a really cool match. The Cody versus Roman Reigns Part 2. Oh yeah, that was a cool match. This year's WrestleMania. Cody versus Roman. That was a really good match. Why are they not talking? Like, they seem to be talking positively throughout the documentary. Very suspicious.
I think I might be the wrong guy to ask that question.
Why? I mean, he's the one that popularized you so much. Okay, I'm gonna say my opinion on this. I think Vince's legacy, had it not been for the allegations, I think it would definitely probably be that he definitely had something going on, and he was a very smart businessman when it came to the product, that he definitely knew how to get rid of the competition, and that he lasted this long even after obstacles, you know, like Eric Bischoff and the WCW thing. And then, well, AEW was mostly Triple H that kind of conquered it. But Vince created a product that a lot of people love, but unfortunately it just, like Chris Benoit, a lot of dark stuff came in between that time. Owen Hart, Ashley Massaro, the Jimmy Snuka murder. Well, him murdering his girlfriend at the time. The Ring Boy scandal, Rita Chatterton, and the other allegations surrounding the other woman, the tanning salon and all that stuff. Chris Benoit's death and the effects of it. That is a lot to pile up for a legacy. But he created something, but it just, because of all that power he possessed, it just became too much for his head, and he kind of lost control. But he did give us a childhood, though. It was a little too much, though, especially with the divas and the women that were treated back then. It was a lot.
And I want more! More! I know the reflection. Describe Vince McMahon.
The guy in the bald head that Vince was lifting weights.
And who I am. When I look in the mirror.
Isn't this the guy right here with the bald head? Isn't he the one that gave Vince steroids, and supposedly, allegedly, he was the one that gave, like, drugs to Janelle in the IV lines? Because I heard about this guy. I can't remember what he did, but I heard that he was trying to defend Vince, and then he kind of changed his mind afterwards. Anyway, I'm going to get through this real quick. Vince McMahon is currently under federal criminal investigation related to the allegations of sexual misconduct and trafficking. Brock Lesnar has not publicly commented on his involvement in the allegations. Janelle Grant's lawsuit is paused while the federal investigation is conducted. Okay. So, dang, I actually have a lot more to say regarding this thing. I honestly give this episode probably like a 7 out of 10, to be honest with you. It was definitely a little rushed. I've been told that this documentary was kind of like, you know, like one of those documentaries where they just have to rush immediately in order to release one. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be more documentaries regarding Vince McMahon once, you know, if there's a court case going on. Again, I don't know much about things, but other than the fact that there could possibly be a court case regarding Vince McMahon, people are saying he could be indicted, like Diddy. But I think that eventually we'll see what happens, because even though Janelle Grant, she paused the case, that doesn't mean that it's over. It just that they have a criminal case. That's what I heard. But this documentary was kind of like, it felt like they should have waited a little longer, in my opinion. Basically, there really wasn't that much new information. I think this is just for like non-WWE fans who want to know what Vince did and why he did it. Bruce was kind of right. It was a little messy, a little very disorganized. I think there were some parts of the documentary where they should have talked a little bit more. If you guys want to know more about the history of WWE or what happened during those times, like a deep dive, I would definitely recommend Dark Side of the Ring. Watch it for free on Tubi, Tubi. But they have ads in case you don't want to do a Hulu subscription. But I would definitely watch the Owen Hart episode, the Chris Benoit. There's a 2-part episode, and the Jimmy Snuka murder thing. I think that's in the 2nd season. I might be wrong. The Montreal Screwjob, and maybe I would recommend watching the David Schultz and the Slap Heard Around the World, because just to get an idea of who Hulk Hogan really is and still is as of today. I'm not a fan of Hulk Hogan. You guys probably know why. What other episode? Unfortunately, they don't mention Rita Chatterton or the Ring Boy scandal as of today. They are coming with a new season for hopefully next year, because I still need 10 more episodes left of the Dark Side of the Ring episode reviews. But regarding the Ring Boy scandal, yeah, that is very dark. There's been a lot of victims coming out, I've been hearing, but Mel Phillips, that guy is a total disgusting piece of crap. Like, I've seen a photo of him actually, well, not in action, like, but the boy is covered. You can't see the little boy who's in the picture. And I've seen it on a YouTube channel. It definitely looked as though a baby was getting a piece of candy. That's what Mel Phillips had, that creepy face. I feel like they should have talked more about Pat Patterson too, because I feel like Pat Patterson, there's a lot of disgusting things about that guy. I think, to be honest, the most sexual deviant other than Vince McMahon is Pat Patterson. And I don't mean to be gross, but let's be for real here. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that Pat Patterson and Terry Garvin had a relationship. Like, those two are weirdos. Really weirdos. Disgusting weirdos. And Mel Phillips too. As of now, they're all dead. If you like to check my YouTube channel, you can. I have deep dives regarding Ashley Massaro. I've done a lot of episode reviews for Dark Side of the Ring. But if you want a better deep dive, I would definitely recommend watching Dark Side of the Ring. Sometimes their information is a little outdated. I'm just letting you guys know. But yeah, I mean, what happened to Janelle, whether she's lying or... People often say that she's lying, but I think it's true. No, my biggest question is, did she strategize this whole thing? Because I remember reading the documents, she was not able to go outside as much because of how traumatizing of what Vince McMahon did to her. Because I know in the documents it said that Vince McMahon gave her gift cards from Saks Fifth Avenue and stuff like that. And it kind of made me wonder, like, did Janelle might have had a strategy, like, did she save all the money that Vince gave her and probably thought in her mind, I'll try to save all the money that Vince McMahon gave me so I could get the best lawyers and the best PR team and bring him down. Because I really feel like she kind of, like, she had a strategy, like, when Vince hurt her, allegedly, I think maybe And when he told her, like, oh, I'm giving you all this money, you just need to be quiet. Because let's be honest, lawyers are expensive. And I think if I were in her position, allegedly, well, whether her allegations are true or not, but I do think they are true, I would have probably saved all that money that he gave me and hired the best lawyers to bring him down. But who knows? I hope this doesn't come off like, oh, so you're saying Janelle's lying or something? No, it's just I'm trying to think, like, did she because I feel like she might have strategized, like, getting Vince, and as of now, Vince is gone from WWE. He's banned from WWE headquarters and the WWE Wellness Center. Is that what it's called? The gym that they have over there. But if she did, that was definitely a smart choice. I think about saving that money, because it said in the document that she hardly went outside and hardly got out of bed because of all that trauma she had. Whether or not it's true, I personally think it was true. But if she did do that, all that money she saved, was it really like for all this? And probably people are gonna be like, well, Janelle, she's lying, she's just wanting money and stuff. Yeah, but where are the receipts? Where are the receipts of all the stuff that she bought with the money that Vince gave her? Where are the receipts? I don't see any. It doesn't look like she bought anything when Vince gave her all that money. I don't know, man. I hope I'm making this easier, because I feel like it's confusing for you guys. And I get it. Sometimes when I talk, I'm a little confusing. But yeah, it sucks. This has got to be the longest stream I've had. Again, I've been a WWE fan for a long time, so this was so shocking when this came out, the Janelle Grant thing. I hope I didn't say Janelle Evans. If I did, I'm sorry. But, justice for Ashley and all the people that died for this business, I still think it was wrong of Vince to keep the show going. Whether or not he did it on purpose, who knows? Although that one guy, that Phil guy, when he said that, oh, a wrestler died, oh, the fans don't care. I'm like, yeah, we do. We always care. Well, I do. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people do care about, wrestlers that died. I mean, Eddie Guerrero was a huge one, and then Bray Wyatt recently, that was another huge one. And they're still missed today. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like the documentary, or were you just like, I already knew about this information? To be honest, I knew about this information too. A lot of it. Except the part where they said that Shawn and Triple H were a part of the screw job. I didn't know about that. And the one thing, and also the fact that the Mickey James segment, where she was all like, help me, he's hurting me. So that was a part of the tanning salon? That was based on the tanning salon accusation? If so, then that is messed up. Really dark. But all I'm gonna say is that Vince McMahon, and I thought about this while I was going home from work, he definitely has a lot of unsettled childhood trauma. And I think the problem is he regressed it so much for so many years. I think eventually it played out in these storylines. I mean, him making out with the woman, the divas. Well, they call them divas, but I call them women because they're women. I think a lot of childhood trauma played a role in these storylines. And I think it was a way for Vince to finally, use it as a coping mechanism, some sort. But it just was not working. I mean, Lita, when they did the live, in Raw, she didn't want to do it. Even John Cena I don't know who it was, John Cena and I think Edge, they were like trying to convince Vince, but Vince was like, no, we're still running it. And they did it anyways. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, Dowster, didn't you say in the previous episode, I mean, you were kind of soft when you mentioned that Stephanie being called a slut. I mean, that was entertainment. That I don't think she took that seriously. Well, that's true. But I had this idea too. Remember when Lita got called a slut? Because she slept with Edge. And a lot of people called her that. And there was a segment a long time ago before WrestleMania 21 I saw on YouTube that everyone was calling her a homewrecker, a slut, and all that stuff. And then Trish Stratus broke character and was like, hey, don't call her a slut. Why didn't Vince do that to Stephanie? I mean, I get it that Stephanie loves her dad, but still, and that it was a part of the storyline, but still, if I had a kid and I ran a business, I would not want people to call my kid a slut or a hooker or anything like that, anything debauchatory. It's really messed up. I mean, that kind of just... The whole... And also the fact that incest storyline with Stephanie and Vince, that Vince wanted to be the father of her character's baby. I mean, to be honest, I think that's connected to how Vince was, SA'd as a child. Well, allegedly his mom SA'd him. That's what it said in the Playboy interview. And, I think one of his step-siblings SA'd him as a kid as well, and the girlfriend. I think, and I look at all these storylines in WWE throughout the years, and a lot of it's kind of connected to Vince's childhood, when you think about it. But I do feel bad for Shane. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay. I know a lot of people probably hate and despise the McMahons for everything, but the only person I like is probably Shane. I don't like Stephanie. Well, I used to like her, but I never really paid much attention to her, to be honest, until the whole women's division. I think she did a good job, but what really made me angry and lost respect for her is how she doesn't acknowledge the fact that she failed Ashley Massaro. Because in the documents, I can't remember. I think it was in the Ashley versus WWE Audible thing that you listened to. Stephanie, she didn't really show sympathy for Ashley. It said that after Ashley got out, Stephanie just told Ashley, well, maybe you should listen to my dad and just, move forward. And you would think that as a woman to woman, Stephanie would understand that. But she didn't. She just said, just, do what my dad said and just move on. That's what she did. And then the whole China thing, allegedly, that a lot of people have said that Stephanie kind of destroyed China, and that, do I think that's true? Possibly. Do I think she might have cheated on... Do I think that she and Triple H went behind China's back? Maybe. You never know. But yeah, I definitely lost a lot of respect for her when I found out what she said to Ashley. I was like, you know what? I don't care if Stephanie McMahon is the greatest or became such a huge influence in the women's division. The fact that she didn't even help two women, even though she's a woman herself, but yet she helped these other women, it just kind of shows that's kind of hypocrite, in my opinion. That's being hypocritical. I mean, these women, China and Ashley, they were in a really dark place. China, well, that's a different story. She had a really crappy childhood, and, allegedly Triple H cheated on China with Stephanie, and then, what happened to Ashley. That was bad. I personally think Ashley is telling the truth. Why would she be lying, and why would she take out her life? That doesn't make sense. And I know a lot of Vince McMahon fanboys are probably going to come at me and be like, you're lying, you're just a prick. I mean, yeah, you're just an idiot. You don't know any better. But in reality, there's just so much stuff. And I think Vince McMahon, he definitely had a cycle of abuse going on. His stepfather was a jerk to him. He wanted to kill his stepfather. Which, a lot of people don't really say that, but, oh well. But Shane, I think Shane ended up breaking that cycle. Because look at how, in the clips, he definitely looks like he has a close relationship with his sons. Parental love. But with Vince and his kids, it's like business all the time. Hardly ever any emotions. Except that one time where we see him hugging Shane after the steel cage match. Or the Hell in a Cell match. I think Vince put too much pressure on his kids, and I think they just... And Stephanie doesn't even talk to him anymore, what I heard. But yeah, there's just a lot of gaps still. And I think it's only gonna get worse from here on then, with Vince. But who knows, maybe he might pull a Jimmy Snuka. I heard he's not doing pretty good right now. Anyway, if you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can. I will be working on Vince's rise to being the owner of WWF pretty soon. Once I finish all the Dark Side of the Ring episodes. Wow, it's almost 9 o'clock. I mean, 9:30. Wow, this has got to be the longest stream. And my computer's probably like, hurry up already! Anyway, yeah, because I do a lot of deep dives about WWE and, well, mostly just Dark Side of the Ring. With some facts, just to back it up. Or try to, you know, because a lot of the episodes of Dark Side of the Ring are outdated now. But I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to follow me, go ahead and follow me on the stream. I would really appreciate it. Or donate if you want to. Whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. But I really enjoyed streaming this thing, and I hope that things, whatever happens, it might get worse from here. With Mr. McMahon, that is. There's rumors going around that Vince McMahon might go to court. He might get indicted. More stuff is gonna come out about the Ring Boy scandal. And I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is like the year of exposure. I mean, what happened to R. Kelly, and I know I mentioned R. Kelly a lot. R. Kelly as a child, he was abused by... He and his brother, they were abused by his aunt. And R. Kelly's brother ended up... He's still... I don't know if he's still in jail or not today, as of today. But R. Kelly, you know what happened. R. Kelly also had a tape where he, you know, kind of... How do I say this? He kind of did not go to the bathroom. And pretty much similar to Vince, only the difference is Vince kept going when he, you know, unleashed his crap on Janelle, allegedly. Yeah, it's just, they're all very similar. They were rich. They unleashed their crap on these people. And Vince is still allegedly, but who knows. And now they're getting canceled. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a really crazy year. I mean, once Vince McMahon if he gets indicted, it's gonna be hard to keep up with Vince and Diddy. God, man, it's just crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna go now because my computer, this stream will probably get out. I know I should have mentioned in the beginning because my computer is very slow. No, it's not slow. It's just not powerful enough to take a long stream. Which is why I let my computer take breaks every once in a while. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the stream. And thank you for putting up with my talking for this long. And I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know when I'll be streaming next, but we'll find out. Thank you for everything, and thank you for the follows too. I'll see you next time. Take care of your mental health and everyone around you, and others the same too. Bye, guys.